underway.
Ladies and gentlemen, now making his way to the ring, Jaime Portillo.
Jaime Portillo has won all 3 of his pro fights by way of first-round knockout. Told us he's a very technical fighter while always pushing for the quick knockout, and indeed he said he'll be pushing for the quick knockout tonight. Portillo also said he wants to stay long off of the jab. He said, I want to study Paul.
Please welcome his opponent, Jesus Palomares.
Jesus Palomares says that he is a naturally hard puncher, and his professional boxing stats back that up. 3 of his 4 career knockouts coming inside of 2 rounds. Palomares said, I want to make this an inside fight, be very precise with my punches, and don't waste my power shots.
And you know what he said his favorite shot is? The uppercut.
Again, Jeff Houston.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next fight of the night is scheduled for 6 rounds of boxing in the middleweight division. Presented to you by Fusion CBD. For fast muscle recovery, visit FusionCBDProducts.com. Introducing to you first, fighting out of the blue corner. Tonight he wears black and yellow. His official weight, 160.1 pounds. He is undefeated in the squared circle at 3-0, with all 3 wins coming by way of knockout. From Juarez, Chihuahua, Mexico, here is Jaime Jimmy Boy Portillo. And across the ring, his opponent fighting out of the red corner. Tonight he wears red and gold. His official weight, 159.8 pounds. His professional record also stands undefeated at 5-0. 4 wins coming by way of knockout and 1 draw. Fighting out of Navajo, Sonora, Mexico, here is Jesus Mazo Palomares. And our referee in charge of the action, Hamid Fonki.
Siempre escuchen mis indicaciones. ¿Okay? Si cae alguien, el control se va a destino neutral, por favor. Toque los guantes, suerte que gane mejor.
One of the hallmarks of Roy Jones Jr. boxing, 2 undefeated fighters meeting early in their respective careers. Smitty, something virtually unheard of outside of RJJ. 5-0-1 Jesus Palomares versus 3-0 Jaime Portillo. The bell, round number 1. Red trunks for Palomares, black trunks for Portillo. So refreshing that an undefeated fighter isn't fighting 2-14 at this stage of their career. And credit both fighters and their management and training teams for being willing to take this fight.
Portillo, known as Jimmy Boy. Jaime's getting busy early off the jab and a couple of nice combinations. Not a lot on the shots, but at least he's letting his hands go.
Palomares told us he wanted a fast start. Portillo said, I'll be much more measured. Try to outbox Palomares early and then turn up the pressure if we get beyond 2 rounds.
Palomares 4 knockouts in his 5 victories.
Good right hand to the body.
Portillo, all 3 of his victories have come via the KO route.
Overhand right just misses the mark.
Saw Palomares throw an uppercut. By the way, Portillo told us his favorite shot is the left uppercut, so there's something going on tonight with uppercuts.
There was the uppercut right there on cue from Jaime Portillo.
It's interesting because it's actually one of the most dangerous shots to throw in boxing if you don't throw it and execute it properly, like we saw Lopez do in the first fight.
Those 3 punches not getting through. Lead left hook. 145 remaining, round number 1. Scheduled for 6 in the middleweight division. Feint with the right hand to the body. 3-punch combination right back from Portillo. Very even thus far, Smitty.
Finally, a little bit of a head movement from Palomares. He needs to move that head a little bit, get it off the line there. Too straight up. Now he's doing a little bit better.
Lead right hand before the jab. Interesting from Portillo. Overhand right and the left hand right back from Palomares.
Portillo definitely the busier of the two here in round one.
Final minute of this opening round. Now the body work as you see. Then the rear right uppercut from Jaime Portillo.
Here's a good body shot by Palomares.
Big left to the body. Lead left hook. Counter uppercut right back. Both fighters starting to turn up the temperature here. Closing seconds, round number one.
Blood coming from the nose of Palomares. Another uppercut, right uppercut slipped in there by Portillo. Good stuff in round one
walking
so far.
Forward. Back to the body goes Portillo. Overhand right doesn't get through from Palomares.
Now blood from Portillo's nose.
Forward pressure from Portillo off of the jab. Combination of punches. There's that right uppercut again that gets through. And that is the end of a very entertaining round number one. Tonight's judges have been assigned by the Sonora State Athletic Commission.
See the blood coming out of the nose there of Palomares. I know Portillo had some blood coming out of his nose. Both of these guys landed some decent shots, especially Portillo. He was the much busier of the two, especially early. Threw more punches, landed more punches. I gave him the first round. You'll see some of the action. Portillo with the shooting the jab. Misses there with a combination. Couple of jabs, 3, 4. Good, pretty good defense there by Portillo. Palomares got one shot in. Really dug a big shot to the body there, but missed.
Fourth pro bout for Jaime Portillo, the first time that he has seen round number two. Again, coming in 3-0. All three wins by way of first round knockout. Into the second round we go.
Palomares 22, Portillo 24. What I like about what Portillo is doing is everything's off that jab. It's just such an important shot just to put it out there.
Right hand from Palomares. There again, there's that rear right uppercut from Portillo. It's been a very effective punch thus far. Time the left uppercut. Now the body work from Jaime Portillo, and right back to the body goes Jesus Palomares. Palomares said, I want to have a very smart fight, be aggressive, but stay controlled at the same time.
Palomares told us his favorite fighter was Eric Morales, and he's letting those left hooks to the body go like El Terrible used to do.
Bigger swings out from Palomares, and Portillo right back. Again, there's that right uppercut. Both fighters resetting center of the ring. Forward pressure again off of the jab from Jaime Portillo. Overhand right misses from Palomares. 150 remaining round number two. Very even between these two undefeated fighters.
Oh, really clean uppercut by Portillo there.
Overhand right misses from Palomares.
Palomares, I think, throws the harder punches, but Portillo does a better job of placing his shots. We'll see if the power starts to have an effect on Portillo from shots like that.
Portillo sitting back on the ropes now, moving forward. Right hand just off the mark from Palomares. Threw that with a lot of power. Tentative to the body, more tentative on the uppercut that time from Portillo. Nothing tentative from Palomares coming forward. 110 remaining round number two. See blood streaming out of the right nostril of Jesus Palomares.
Palomares starting to warm up now, and I think Portillo's tasted a little bit of his power. Even though he's blocked most of the shots, you can still feel that power when you're a fighter, even when you're blocking the shots. Nice combination, though, by Portillo there.
Ends with that right cross. Portillo tentative with the jab. Three-punch combinations back against the ropes. There's the entry on the overhand right from Palomares. Overhand right now from Jesus Palomares. 30 seconds remaining round number two.
Portillo needs to slide off of those ropes like that. Good move.
Clever on the turn.
Clearly Palomares wants to be on the inside on this fight.
Slight abrasion now, high on the cheekbone, under the right eye of Jaime Portillo. There's a big right hand from Palomares. Left hand, huge overhand right just before the bell, which ends round number 2. Coming up in our main event, undefeated Juan Barajas versus 10-win Gabriel Lopez. The winner claims the currently vacant WBC Latino Super Middleweight Championship.
See the blood there. Palomares. Portillo landed a lot of shots in round 1. Less in round 2. Palomares started to get to start to feel it in round number 2. Landed that huge shot at the end of the round. And that kind of punctuated the round, and I slightly had the edge for Palomares in that second round. Portillo still had a good round, but Palomares landed the more telling shots. Have this fight dead even, 1 apiece after 2. See if the power and the strength of Palomares starts to take over here.
Set now for round number 3. The call of boxing referee Hamid Fonki. Almost a smile on the face of Portillo. Throws the jab, resetting.
Portillo should try to not let his back touch those ropes. Kind of what Canelo learned in the second fight with Triple G. His back only touched the ropes one time. It's something that fighters, that aren't the most devastating of punchers, especially when you face a guy that is one, stay off of those ropes. Like right now, he doesn't need to be there.
This is the round number 3, that in his fighter meeting, Portillo was emphatic that he would turn up the pressure, look for the knockout.
Yeah, he can't. Portillo's not going to win this fight on the ropes against Palomares.
Portillo felt that Palomares would start to have the gas tank empty through 2 rounds. No sign of that early stages round number 3. Good overhand right from the mid-range. Uppercut lands from Palomares.
One thing interesting when you're doing a fight with no fans, you can really hear the punches. And I can clearly hear that the difference in the power from Palomares, much more power than Portillo. That doesn't mean anything, or doesn't mean everything at times, but it's starting to mean something now.
1:45 remaining round number 3. Portillo on his spike. The forward pressure coming from Jesus Palomares. Left hook on the entry. There's that rear right uppercut. Left uppercut to counter from Palomares.
Good.
You can hear the punches and you can hear the corners.
Yeah. I like that pesky jab of Portillo. When the other guy's doing nothing, just stick it out there. It sets up stuff like that.
Portillo's corner emphatically asking for more volume, telling him to triple up on his punches.
Just letting those hands go is nullifying what Palomares was doing. Good move to get off of those ropes by Portillo.
Palomares most definitely the aggressor here in round number 3. Portillo playing the role of the counter puncher. Again, his back against the ropes.
But he's not staying on the ropes, and that's the good thing. He backs up, he throws a combination.
Off of the jab from Palomares. Jab to the body. That was clever after the feint. Now 35 seconds remaining, round number 3 of this middleweight fight.
Portillo keeps moving, chewing on the mouthpiece. I don't know if it's not fitting well or there's an issue. Just keeps chewing on that mouthpiece. Might just be a nervous habit. I'm not sure. Nice combination, but a bigger
right
shot.
Hand from Palomares. That backs off Portillo. Another right hand from Palomares. Counter on the uppercut from Portillo. Both fighters throwing big. Dipping his head is Palomares. Cutting off space. Hooks to the body. And that is the end of round number 3. Tomorrow night on UFC Fight Pass from this very ring here in San Carlos, Mexico, beginning at 10:30 p.m. U.S. Canadian Eastern Time. It's live MMA with Icon Fighting Federation 3. I will be joined on commentary by Pearl Gonzalez. That's Icon 3 live tomorrow night, again beginning at 10:30 p.m. U.S. Canadian Eastern Time from San Carlos, Mexico, on the beach on UFC Fight Pass.
What do you mean, Pearl Gonzalez? I'm not doing the color commentary tomorrow night?
I wish that you would and break down the striking.
Yeah, right.
I love that for three-person booth.
You might love it, but none of the fans would, so. That was a really damn good last round. I mean, back and forth, ebb and flow. I gave a slight edge to Palomares in that round, but I tell you what, that Portillo landed a lot of good shots as well. It's a really good fight, isn't it?
Outstanding fight, very close. 29-28, 2-1 for Palomares on your unofficial scorecard.
So Palomares this time threw the first jab, and that's a good thing to do with a guy who has a decent jab like Portillo does. Jab with him. You don't hook with a hooker, but you jab with a jabber. It can nullify a guy's jab. Just put your own out there like that. Nice combination by Palomares.
That's a big left hook to the body. You can see the grimace from Portillo.
See the mouth of Portillo? He keeps biting up and down. That's a dangerous thing to do for a fighter, to go up and down like that, have your mouth open. If a guy catches you, he can bust you out. So I don't know if there's a mouthpiece issue or what. Just constantly, like he's almost trying to talk.
Right hand on the entry, just off the mark. And as you pointed out in the last round, it could be a nervous habit, or it could be an ill-fitting mouthpiece. Big right hand!
Well, you don't want to get hit with those kind of shots, moving your, your jaw up, opening your mouth like that. Pressure of Palomares starting to take over here, at least in this round. Finally, Portillo, for the first time, holds on.
As a professional combat sports athlete, there is no excuse to not have a properly fitting and expensive mouthpiece.
It's true.
And yet you see it all the time, including from the A-listers, which is shocking to me. 90 seconds remaining, round number 4.
Yeah, I did a study once on that, and it can prevent a lot of, obviously can prevent broken jaws, and even can help absorb the power of shots if you have a proper fitting mouthpiece. Palomares starting to take over here, and Portillo feeling the effects, and that's why he's grabbing and holding.
Portillo talked all about turning up the aggression, going hard for the knockout, but since we ended round number 2, and in a lot of parts of round number 2, Portillo has been the counterpuncher, has been on his bike, backwards lateral movement. It's been Palomares throwing harder and coming forward. 50 seconds to go, round 4.
If I was Palomares, I would work on that inside and just be a body snatcher.
Good left
that'll set
hook.
up all the other stuff.
Again, you see Portillo backing off, bouncing against the ring ropes. Straight right hand on the entry. Palomares continuing to pop with his punches. High tight guard for Palomares. Just misses with that right hand. 25 seconds to go, round 4. Both corners calling for action from their respective fighters. Left to the body, just off the mark from Jesus Palomares. That right hand lands, so does that left hand. It's the mid-range in the pocket, Smitty, where Jesus Palomares is doing his best work. Next stop, round number 5.
It's the strength and power and work on the inside of Palomares that's starting to take over this fight. But you can see by looking at him, he's receiving some decent shots as well from the very game Portillo. Portillo landed some decent combinations there, but hit with a bigger shot. And, most judges, no matter how skilled they are, a guy can land 4 or 5, pity-pat shots. All you have to do is have one big counter like that, and they're going to give you the round. It's just simply the way most judges are, and a lot of the times it's valid. But again, folks, when you score a fight, it's clean, hard punching, effective aggressiveness, which we're seeing from Palomares, defense, and ring generalship.
Maximum of 2 rounds, 6 minutes remaining in this very entertaining, thus far, middleweight fight between 2 undefeated fighters. Jesus Palomares versus Jaime Portillo. Palomares again an aggressive start to this round, as we saw in rounds 3, 4. Blood now coming from the nose of Portillo, right to the body. Good left hook.
It's just very difficult for Portillo to keep Palomares off of him. I mean, the power advantage is just there. Portillo landed a clean shot, but
and down goes Jaime Portillo. Ruled a slip immediately by referee Hamid Fonki.
He was
decisive.
There was a shot that landed, but it looks like they got tangled up a little bit. Hopefully we'll see it in replay. Palomares thought it was a knockdown. We'll see if it had any effect on Portillo.
Referee Hamid Fonki immediately ruled a slip, did not hesitate. Rule number one, and I mean rule number one of being a professional boxing referee, be decisive. He or she who hesitates is lost. 150 remaining, round number 5.
Nice little feint and shoot there by Portillo. Beautiful combination, landed solidly.
It was clever.
Yes, it was.
When you Palomares comes forward.
When you lack the power, you got to be, creative. Got to be technical. Got to use that jab. Right now, a nice bounce back round for
There's
Portillo.
The uppercut. Left hand on the entry. That left hand from Palomares backs off Jaime Portillo. 80 seconds to go, round 5.
Just get the feeling that Palomares can change it with one shot, though, anytime. He just finds the range. Very interesting style matchup here. I like it. This round's open for whoever wants it in this last minute. The first part of the round, Palomares, Portillo took over, and let's see who wants it the most here in the last 55 seconds.
Portillo most definitely having his best round since round number 2. Swing and a miss by Palomares. Now it's Portillo coming forward. Again, something we haven't seen him do since round number 2. Again, putting his back against the ropes.
Slowing down a little bit here. Don't know if a little bit of fatigue, and Portillo's had a really nice bounce back round.
Portillo told us he felt he definitely had the better cardio. He thought Palomares would fade, albeit he thought he would fade after round 2. Palomares, though, visibly slowing down here in round number 5. Tripling up to jab Portillo, backing off Jesus Palomares. 15 seconds to go, 5th round.
Good decision there by Portillo to move when he was starting to feel nice counter right.
Beautiful counter right. The counter punch is landing for Jaime Portillo here in round number 5.
Good round for Portillo.
And we move to the 6th and final round. Smitty through 5 rounds.
48-47, Palomares pulled away to a 2-point lead after 4, but a really nice 5th round for Portillo. Did some really creative stuff there. Ooh, I'd like to see that. Wonder if we could see that. Almost did look like a knockdown. Wow. Let's see, the ropes. I know his arm got tangled up on the ropes, but.
The right hand landed.
Yeah.
But the reaction of referee Hamid Fonki, he may have seen the foot tangle.
Yeah. I know Palomares thought it was a knockdown. If it wasn't rule one, so we're not going to count as one, but if it was, Portillo wasn't hurt because he got up and won the round. So.
Telling too, Jesus Palomares never protested, never tried to sell that it was a knockdown. Sporting touch of gloves to the 6th and final round we go.
1-2 jabs to start out for Portillo. He just needs to let his hands go and stay off of those damn ropes.
Smitty, this fight right now might be swung on round number 2. To me, that was the closest of the 5 rounds thus far.
Round 2 I gave to Palomares, but that really was close. It was a very close round.
Make no mistake, this is a very close fight. 2 talented fighters. Big right hand.
Good defense by Portillo. Good head movement. The way he slid off the ropes. He lands a shot there. It wasn't a hard shot, but nevertheless he landed. He found an opening.
Power is definitely dissipating from the shots of Palomares. Portillo starting to find his counter-punching.
Palomares is breathing heavy. And he's not coming forward with the aggressiveness that he did earlier.
150 remaining, 6th and final round. Left to the body, just misses the mark from Jesus Palomares. Palomares back to the mid-range.
Good movement by Portillo. Big right hand there by Palomares, but Portillo rolled with it, which took off a lot of the effect. Another nice right hand, but then comes back with 2 shots of his own.
Palomares trying to turn back up the temperature here in the 6th and final round. Nice turn by Portillo. Pulling this fight now back to the center of the ring. Portillo stepping forward with a two-punch combination.
Good again movement by Portillo, staying off of those ropes. Comes back with a nice combination. Again, they're not hard shots, but they're placed perfectly.
Portillo in round 5 and here in round number 6, really doing a nice job landing that counter right hand.
I watch him
pressure
spin off,
again.
Watch him spin off of those ropes or tie up. That's the other thing you do, especially against a much harder puncher, which Palomares is. But another really good round, the final round for Portillo, with under 35 seconds left in it. Good exhibition of boxing by Portillo.
That's
movement.
A wild uppercut that misses from Palomares. Both fighters with a smear of blood on their respective faces. Now 20 seconds remaining in this fight.
1-2, 1-2, 1-2 for Portillo.
Both Palomares and Portillo now looking for one more significant punch. Palomares back to the inside. Turn the left hook from Portillo. That was clever. Left to the body, and that is the end of a very entertaining and very close fight.
Yeah, I would say it's about, on my card, as close as you can get, my friend. Let's call it dead even. So I had Portillo outboxing him the first round. The second round, which was the closest, difficult to call, Palomares, I gave him that round, as I did round 3 and round 4 when I thought he was taken over. Then in round 5, Portillo came back and boxed his way to winning that round, as he really convincingly, in my opinion, won the 6th and final round. Thus, 57-57, dead even. I know you weren't scoring it. What do you? How do you?
I think
close,
you're spot on. And again, to me, this will probably hinge on how the 3 Sonora State Athletic Commission judges score round number 2 and possibly round number 5.
Typically, you know, the Mexican crowd, even the Mexican judges, they like that aggressiveness. And Palomares was coming forward, but if you really do by who was doing more of what they wanted to do, it was Jaime Portillo. Jimmy Boy was doing more of what he wanted to do, like right there. Boxing, moving, covering up, good defense, parrying, and using that jab. So if I had to make a call, like, well, when you score a fight, my last thing I use is who is doing more of what they wanted to do. I'd give the slight edge in that to Portillo, but I have the fight scored a draw.
So there is a very animated and long discussion taking place at the Sonora Athletic Commission table. And having spent numerous nights myself at the Kansas Athletic Commission table, I can tell you that a delay such as this means something usually other than a unanimous decision.
Okay.
We shall see.
All right.
But when you're on a worldwide broadcast, such as we are tonight on UFC Fight Pass, suddenly those 10s and 9s become a jumble, and you don't want to get it wrong to the world. $10 suspense. Here is Jeff Houston.
Ladies and gentlemen, after completing the scheduled 6 rounds of boxing, here are the score totals from our judges at ringside. All 3 judges score the fight 58-56 for your winner by unanimous decision, Jesus Maza Palomares.